SS Gentleman, Dean Alejandro. I hope everyone had a great day. I wanted to go ahead and post a video because I didn't want to type everything out. Something happened earlier and it really upset me, and I was kind of surprised as to how affected I was by it. It just really threw me off. So I kind of just wanted to post a video and just kind of rant about it, and kind of like an open conversation, even though you're not really there talking to me. I was going to go live, but I just figured it'd be more so of me ranting about it, so I just go ahead and post something. So basically, I sometimes watch videos of people transitioning, of course, and people detransitioning, and I think it's very important to do because you learn from it. I mean, we're only learning from going through the experience and other people going through the experience and documenting it, right? So I've come across a couple of videos as far as like detransitioning, and a couple of them have really, sat with me, and I think it's affected me because it's all stemmed to the root of not being educated, and people would start transitioning or medically transitioning or doing things or experimenting, and kind of going so far that they would go through surgery and go through other things, into where they really had a big level of regret. And I'm very empathetic, so watching those videos, it was really hard for me to see that so many people had gone through situations as far as transitioning, which is very difficult to do, whether it's legally, medically. Even if you're not going to go through any of those things, it's still difficult. It's a complete change, and then to have to turn around and do it again, I just really sympathized with them, and the fact that it stemmed from not being educated because there wasn't the amount of resources out there, and they weren't sure. I mean, how do you know without going through it? So I saw some videos like that on YouTube, and of course I was affected by them. And last night I was at work, and I work overnights, and I saw a video about a woman who was considering detransitioning. And I was like, okay, I just kind of looked at it a little bit because I watch the videos, like I said, occasionally. And so I started watching this video because I was subscribed to them, and I genuinely was, I care, was interested. So I started watching, and she was really upset, really, really, really upset, crying. It was like a 10-minute video. And I just started getting, I started feeling bad for them, like the same kind of things. And then I went through it and just kind of forwarded to the end, because I'm not going to watch that long of a video on something, and it was an April Fool's joke. And in that moment, I didn't realize how upset I would get. It really pissed me off. It really made me upset because, first of all, we already have it so hard in our community to go through all of this. I don't even know, and that's why it's really difficult for me to have typed this up or go live or anything, because it makes me so mad. The fact that you're portraying it as a joke is not okay. It's already hard enough living in the LGBTQ community, going through everything. And as a fellow person in the trans community, I just don't understand why you could take something so serious and joke to kind of flip it for views or for plays or for monetization or for anything like that. It just doesn't make sense, and it doesn't sit right with me. Like I said, these are unedited videos now, so sorry about it. But it really upset me, and I commented on it, and it's just there's a lot of people that are really, really struggling with this, that really need help with this, that didn't have the proper education, that didn't have the proper resources, and that someone in retrospect is just going to turn and flip it into a joke for views or for popularity or to boost themselves. I mean, it's kind of going back to that situation of, we still don't have all the basic human rights as far as every other person in the world. I mean, let's just be honest, we struggle with a lot of other things in comparison. And it's very important that we stick together, and we are a family in the community and work together. And I see too often people trying to put up walls in between others, and not really wanting to help other people and just wanting to help themselves, which, okay, to each their own. But in a situation like this, when you're using YouTube as a platform as far as, talking to a bunch of people, educating, or, whatever else, it would be different if this individual posted videos that were like jokes or like weird, like not transition videos, But because it was step by step in transitioning and everything else, I just feel like there are a lot of people that are already struggling and are thankful when they do find, trans related articles or resources online. So the fact to give them that false hope and go through that, and like, for me, I don't have a problem with transitioning or detransitioning. I'm fairly confident I'm not gonna lie, I've had moments where I've thought, is this wrong? Did I make a mistake? Like, and I think that's completely normal when you're exploring that. But it's just like, if I was someone who wasn't sure completely and I was, going through those trivial moments, that would have really upset me, and it would have been really triggering, and not like in a triggering like, oh my gosh, like it would have devastated me, and I wouldn't have known what to do. I feel like I already struggled, me personally, with coming out and not really having enough resources, and I was living in a big town in Florida, and I was struggling with finding proper resources, and that's why I decided to go ahead and put everything out and go public, because I didn't know what else to do, and that was my option as far as reaching people and communicating with other people and figuring it out. So the fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter. Sorry, my dog's drinking water. It doesn't matter if you're transitioning, if you're detransitioning, you're still a part of the community, you're still important. We still all need to learn from these experiences, but you can't treat it as a joke. That is what makes it, that's what makes other people that aren't in the community see us as a trend or a phase, or they don't see us as the same person, because they see people within the community setting this kind of example, and they're not going to take their time like we are to go and educate themselves. That's kind of our job. Unfortunately, it is our job now to educate others and to basically create a safe space for our future LGBTQ generations. I mean, that's kind of what it's coming down to now. So it really threw me off because it was an April Fool's joke, and I don't think that's okay. There's a lot of things that you shouldn't joke about on April Fools that, it's just, I don't really know what else to say other than it really made me upset. I'm still pretty upset about it. They commented back on my thing on YouTube and were like, oh, you must be real fun at parties. And I'm like, dude, like, I just have different values, I guess. And that's okay. Like, I'm not saying, like, you can't joke about stuff, but it's like, you need to really be careful. Like, we have a really big target on our back as it is, and more than ever, we need to be here for each other and help each other. And I'm not sitting here to be like, oh, kumbaya, like, let's, not fight for anything. Like, we need to come together and get shit done, because we are on the verge of good things happening, and it is possible, but we need to use our platforms for good and not for egging on people that don't understand us, because that's what makes people think that we're a joke and that, we're not serious, and it just, it creates so many problems. So if you are someone who was affected by anything on April Fool's or any joke or anything, I guess, really, and this is again too kind of what I was talking about in my last video on live and stuff about not editing things, because it makes you perceive completely different. If you were affected by any YouTuber or any resources online that completely threw you off guard and didn't help you and kind of made you feel more isolated, you can always reach out. I might not have the answer, but I'll try to help. And just take it easy. Take care of each other. Life's short. And sorry about my rant, but I guess it's, bound to happen, right? Make sure you like, subscribe, set your little bell to alert, and go enter my binder giveaway.